An old cowboy walks into a barber shop in Moose Jaw for a shave and a haircut. He tells the barber he can't get all his whiskers off because his cheeks are wrinkled from age. The barber gets a little wooden ball from a cup on the shelf and tells the old cowboy to put it inside his cheek so it spreads out the skin. When he's finished, the old cowboy tells the barber that was the cleanest shave he had had in years. But he wanted to know what would have happened if he accidentally swallowed the little ball. The barber replies, "Just bring it back in a couple days, like everyone else does." Nothing is getting stirred today because I'm angry as hell. Nice. Charles Bronson was married to English actress Jill Ireland from October 1968 until her death in 1990. He met her in 1962 when she was married to Scottish actor David McCallum. At the time, Bronson, who shared the screen with McCallum in a movie called The Great Escape, reportedly told him, "I am going to marry your wife." After they married, she often played his leading lady, and they starred in 15 films together. Just a quick reminder, fellas, that 80% of all affairs start in the workplace. Okay? Kiss your wife and tell her to have a good day at work today. Charles Bronson was a true OG. He is of Lithuanian descent. I believe his last name was like Buczynski or something like that. He was a true OG in many ways. Was he natty? I don't know, but he was pretty jacked. I don't know if that was the pre-steroid days, but he looked like he had a naturally athletic build. My dad and I went to every Charles Bronson movie in the 70s, and during that decade, we probably saw every Clint Eastwood, Charles Bronson, Lee Marvin, Gene Hackman, Charlton Heston, Paul Newman, and Burt Reynolds, and of course every Kung Fu movie in the 70s. But think about that for a second. I am going to marry your wife. Whew. And he did. Wow. Wow. Jake Shields says, never cry in front of a woman. He looks at a blog post that says, I cried in front of my wife, and since then there's been a strange atmosphere between us. Hate to say that I'm right. Me and my wife share everything. I can cry in front of her. I can do anything in front of her. You remember last year when I said cry in front of your wife and she'll be banging your best friend or the boss by the end of next week? It's not a game to not show weakness. But if you want to cry, you want to get sad, you want to be pissed, do it in front of a brother, do it in front of a coach, do it in front of a therapist, do it in front of a, like with a group of trusted men, that kind of thing. Honestly, emotions are your enemy and sentimentalism is a trap. I've been saying this for years now. Listen to me, fellas. Listen. Do you have a parent or a loved one who's experiencing cognitive decline, forgetfulness, and confusion? I am starting a group online to provide solutions, coping mechanisms, and expert opinions. So keep that in mind if you have somebody in your life that's starting to experience those symptoms, or as I jokingly like to say, losing their shit. Gentlemen, never put yourself in a situation where your woman or wife can kick you out of your own home. This happens more than you know. Again, churches and Christ pillars are freaking useless, tone-deaf, not going to say it, deceptive grifters selling delayed grief, but they're nowhere to be found when crap hits the fan in your life. But as you're navigating relationships, they want you to get down on one knee and propose. They say, happy wife, happy life. Your marriage ended because you didn't pray enough with her. The couple that prays together strays together. You know why it really sucks? Because when it happens to a Christian couple, and many of you were Christian couples in a Christian marriage who didn't believe in divorce, and now you are out there divorced, living in a fucking apartment, sleeping in a single bed with a velour Elvis blanket on the window as a curtain, and a cinder block bookshelf, and you're saving the plastic spoons, forks, and knives from the Chinese restaurant, what happens to Christian men is they are in absolute disbelief that their Christian wife wanted out of the marriage. 80% of all affairs happen at work. Doesn't matter, that's across the board, Christian or not. You didn't expect it. You got blindsided, didn't you? She didn't want to work things out. It's because she already had someone in mind. I've never been wrong. So don't put yourself in a situation where your woman or wife can kick you out. My opinion, I think that you should apply for the mortgage yourself, sir, or pay cash for your home. If both names are on the mortgage, then it's going to be litigated. If you don't have good credit and she has her name on the mortgage, you're basically fucked. So planning your escape if you feel that there's a bad marriage, remember, save the man, not the marriage. Because if the man is saved, guess what happens? The marriage might stand a chance. But if it doesn't make it, guess what is still standing and is strong and has a future? The man. Get yourself an easy credit card and buy a cup of coffee once a month with it and pay it off immediately. In 1 year, your credit will go up. Start working on little tactics like that to build your credit up so you can purchase a home, or you have the purchasing power, or at least the loan power. Red-pilled and Christian, every Christian man who receives divorce papers is going to get red-pilled pretty quickly. Without the life-changing chaos, it's easy to attack red-pilled praxeology, which is basically the study of human behavior. Scripture and tradition provide answers and is quite consistent with red pill teaching on men and women. Christ-pilled men, most Christian men online, a lot of reformed guys out there who are leading the charge against the red pill. When your wife is getting fucked by her boss, where do the 5 solas come to your aid? When you take the stand and promise to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to the judge during your divorce, tell him that you're a Christian. See how far that gets you. Tell him that you're reformed. Tell him that you believe in sola scriptura. Tell him that you're a pastor. Tell him that your wife cheated on you. He won't care. He will not care. Scripture and tradition provide answers and is quite consistent with the red pill. Christ-pilled men have zero answers. Like I said, I watch video after video and all I see is idealism. Just a reminder, gentlemen, idealism kills. There will be no idealism. Some people have said, you're a Putin sympathizer. You know, like the little sound bites, the video bites that I use of Putin laughing, or sometimes that group of good fellas laughing. Okay. Does that mean I'm a mobster sympathizer? What do you know about me, where I come from? My mother is Russian. My father is Italian. 100%, 100%. So that's what they represent. I'm not a sympathizer of any government, period. Period. I am pro-people. People. That's it. I don't care where you live. I am pro-you. I hate your fucking government, but I am pro-you. And I want the best for you. And I want the worst for your government. What she says, I am mostly plant-based. What she means is I'm a huge pain in the ass. For those of you that are dating out there, and you're going through dating profiles. It's interesting, when I watch Jack Vale, I think Jack Vale's funny. Some people don't like him. He's a prankster. I get it. Prank videos can turn people off. But it's interesting to see people's reactions to his farting pranks. I'm looking at it from a business angle, though. The guy's already made $3 million with a $16 Chinese item that costs 20 cents to make, and you can order one from him. The conclusion of this, for those of you that decided to attack the man and not the business, The reason why I posted that is this. You are overthinking how you can make money. You are overthinking your first $1 million. Way overthinking it. Did you get the trilogy yet? 1 second after, 1 year after, and the final day? Just get it. I'll put the link down below. You will read the first book probably in 3 days, 3 to 4 sittings, easily. It reads fast. And it's not a fear-mongering book. What it is, it's kind of a survival lesson. How do people survive when SHTF? You'll find out in that book, in that whole series. Shout out to all the bros out there who made it through Valentine's Day by themselves and maybe you've had a table for one. Do a table for one tonight. It's Friday night. Could be date night for you if you're married. But if you're a single guy, remember, I've always said I have no problem with spinning plates. I'm not talking about having sex with multiple women. It's okay to kind of play the field, so to speak. I'm not an advocate for sleeping with several women at the same time. That's not something that I agree with. But I will tell you this. If you are going to spin plates, make sure that you are one of those plates, which means that Friday night does not mean you have to swipe for love on a dating app. You can go out and have a table for one. You walk into a restaurant of any type. Like my choice is a cheap Mexican restaurant where I can eat like a damn king for $15 and get free margaritas. But here's the deal. You walk in, they grab a couple menus thinking it's going to be you and a couple. And then you say, just one, please. Table for one. And they don't know what to do with you because most tables have 2 chairs, most booths, have 2 benches. And you can just see them kind of pause for a second, kind of look around where to place you. Of course, they'd rather seat 4 people in a booth or 2 people at a table because they can make more money with their real estate, so to speak, in the restaurant. But if you make it worth their while, then that's cool. And these servers will get to know you and treat you like the king that you are. Remember, table for one on Friday nights. Never invest in a woman who is open to another man if she believes that he is a better choice. Number 2, all women are open to other men who she believes would be a better choice. All women are always looking at all times. Just like your phone is always scanning for a Wi-Fi signal, women are always scanning. Always. 100%. Doesn't matter if this past Wednesday she gave you a Valentine's Day card, made you a steak, gave you a beach. Doesn't matter. She could break up with you today. And you're going to say, well, but just 2 days ago we had Valentine's Day. And I took you away for a weekend last weekend to a bed and breakfast. Like the wind, man. Like the wind and the weather. Scanning like Wi-Fi for a better signal. Every last one. Put the mechanisms in place where you are not shell-shocked and broadsided and blindsided. When pregnancy is no longer the consequence of sexual behavior, women behave exactly like men. Back in my Casanova days, I don't even like to talk about this kind of stuff because it's in the past. Good Christian women gave it up within 1 hour. Good Christian women. Even women who get the ashes on their head. Even women who wear the chapel veils. Even women who say, I've only had 4 boyfriends. When women are on hormonal birth control or have an IUD and pregnancy is not a possible consequence of sexual behavior, that woman will act like a man and be very assertive on the bed with you. I don't know why they say in bed. Whoever does anything in a bed, it's always on the bed. Just keeping it real because no one else is. And that being said, women are always open to meeting what they think is a better choice right up until the week of a wedding. Anyone here ever have a runaway bride? Someone who you thought you were going to get married and were planning for, and then you got blindsided? That ever happened to you? Put your answer down below. I'd like to see that. Gentlemen, if that happened to you, you're not alone. It happens all the time, almost every single day, all across the world. Doesn't matter what her zip code is. Well, American women, that's why I go overseas. Dude, it'll happen to you in Eastern Europe, Russia, Poland, Ukraine, Sweden, UK, Thailand, Vietnam. It doesn't freaking matter. Zip code does not change a woman. And I've been a passport bro. Been there, done that, bro. Been there, done that. Women who've had sex with multiple men are actually soulless. Each guy she slept with took a part of her soul. And that's why when you look at her, her eyes don't sparkle. They're empty eyes, like a robot, like a Stepford wife. And dating such women will only tax your soul and make you question everything. And then there's the white knights and Captain Sava 304, who delusionally thinks that he can bring that sparkle back as she's starting a new chapter. Ain't happening, bro. Ain't happening. Rich Cooper, my friend, says, don't whine and complain about your problems. Women don't care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and pick the winner. You are a man, be competent and figure it out. I can confirm that decade after decade after decade. Save your weakness for your buddies. Don't stack your weaknesses and failures with your wife or your woman. Internet men really love their female men's relationship coaches. They love them ones, especially the really pretty, sexy ones, but mainly the pretty, sexy ones. They're not all pretty and sexy. It's almost like their love affair with Jordan Peterson. I've never seen one come close to the truth about intersexual dynamics. Not a single one. The only woman that comes close to telling the truth is Karen Seitz from Happy Wife School. And guess what? Her channel is geared towards women. But who watches her mostly? Look in the comments. It's mostly men. But her work is for women. And guess who hates her more? Women. Guess who her trolls are? Women. Guess who reports her? Women. Today's Daybreak Show is brought to you by Ollie and Brio. Ollie teeth whitening strips, the best in the business. I've tried everything from the Crest Ultra whitening strips. Ollie is the best. There are none better. I mean, I have pretty white teeth. Ollie. Silk flossers. Not the, what are the flossers made of today? The ones that break all the time. I mean, they are pretty smooth, but when you're kind of like getting in between tight teeth, a lot of times they break and they're almost like single use, so to speak. Sometimes you have to use two if your teeth are too tight. The Ollies are made of silk. They do not break. Ollie dental floss. Best in the business. Made of silk. Ollie toothpaste. Phenomenal. And then, of course, the Brio Smart Clean Premium Sonic Toothbrush. Another way that I get my teeth sparkling white. I will put a link for this sponsor, Ollie Oral Care. Ollie and Brio have kind of put their heads together and created the most amazing products. Everything from beard trimmers to ear hair and nose hair trimmers, nail clippers, and different things for men. I use Brio and Ollie products every single day, 7 days a week. Link below. You better get back, honky cat. Living in the city ain't where it's at. It's like trying to find gold in a silver mine. It's like trying to drink whiskey from a bottle of wine. Guess what year that was? 1972 by Elton John, the song called Honky Cat. Pretty funky song if you think about it. I was a school counselor decades ago. Pretty much hated the job for all the reasons that you would imagine, as it was a public school. I was helping a student study once, and I asked, what is the capital of Italy? I was drilling them on a test they were going to take, and the person said, Europe. Europe is the capital of Italy. It was at that moment that I knew that we were kind of screwed as a nation because public schools failed miserably. Discipline was non existent. Nobody did homework. Teachers were tapped out. One time I did get into trouble and got called into a principal's office. A young female student, 16 years old, told me she was pregnant. Now remember, I was a school counselor at the time. I asked if her parents knew this. She said no. I wanted to arrange a meeting with her, the school nurse, and her parents. And I gave her a pro-life book that I had. And guess what? I got written up. I got reprimanded because I should have referred her to a clinic without her parents knowing because she was over 14 years old. Guess what? She ended up going through with the pregnancy, having the child, and was very happy. That baby today is 36 years old, but that experience completely turned me off to public school education. After that, I became a counselor and I taught in colleges, became much more academic, and there was a lot more intellectual freedom. I did that for years, and then I became director of a psychiatric clinic. And when I've recently tried just even getting a part-time gig, like last year, I wanted to teach down at Florida Tech, just part-time. As a university adjunct professor, I was turned down due to factors such as my faith, my political party, my opinion on pandemics, and opinions on socio-sexual issues. Again, here we are, almost 40 years later, and I'm saying we are pretty much screwed. Are there any other teachers, therapists, or professors that have experienced that? Put your answer down below. I'd like to see that. After a breakup or divorce, a man will double the money that he has. After a breakup or a divorce, a woman will double her body count. That is no lie. Someone has to tell the truth. It might as well be me. Most of the best sex that you ever had in your life, sir, was when a woman monkey branched from another man to you. There's your girls are sugar and spice and everything nice. Every woman that you've ever known and had crazy, satisfying, visually wonderful sex with monkey branched from another man. A woman without a strong father or a drunk father will always have a weak taste in men, or when she experiences a good man, she will screw him over. One of the things you need to find out, and I heard Rich say this week when he talked about anatomy of a cheating wife. And I love this. You've heard me say this. Check out somehow, some way, very early on what her relationship with her father is like. And one of the really neat things that he said, and I don't know if this is original with him, I'm assuming that it is. He says, like on a first date, like a coffee date, you might say, so what was it like growing up in your house? What's it like to grow up like Mary? So what did Mary grow up like? What did Sally grow up like? What was it like in your house when you're growing up? And then just shut up and let her talk. Time and time again, every time I've ever dated a woman who had a shitty father or an alcoholic father, the relationship sucked and it ended abruptly. Catholic women all over the world will get ashes in the sign of a cross on their forehead on Ash Wednesday. They'll do that in the morning before they go to work. Get to the church and get the ashes put on. Later that evening, they get the mushroom stamp on their forehead. Someone has to tell the truth. It might as well be me. I have a serious question here. If you're not going to make babies and start a family, then what is the purpose of marriage? Put your answer down below. I remember back in the 90s when I used to go to all kinds of men's Bible studies and retreats. I've done this for decades. I don't know anyone who's been to more men's Bible studies and weekend retreats and all the conferences and all this. No one has done more than me. I was a junkie for conferences and men's Bible studies and men's ministries. But in the 90s, there was this statement that was circulating amongst men's early morning Bible studies. No man on his deathbed ever said, "I wish I spent more time at the office." You know, after years of Christian idealism mixed with a divorce and family court, men are now saying, "Fuck it. I wish I spent more time at the office." Working to keep a wife happy never worked. And if Christian men were honest for once in their damn life, They would admit that. Half of you watching right now, The Office, your job is a escape, a refuge from your home, and you know it. What are you going to do about it? If you need to get out of that relationship, I can help you with that over a period of 3 months. It's not cheap, but neither is staying in that relationship that's sucking the life out of you. Remember what I said, date long, marry slow, and divorce fast. If you've already decided that you're going to get a divorce, do it fast, because most of the chaos, trauma, and psychological damage comes from the divorce process, not so much in her leaving your life. And remember, you don't miss her. You miss the image of her. You don't miss the software. You don't miss the bullshit. You don't miss the operating system. You miss the hardware. That's it. The home movies playing in your head, the snapshots, the Polaroids of her in your head. But you don't miss the bullshit, if you're honest with yourself. Men are friggin' amazing. Our nature is such that we instinctively provide and protect. Instinctively. We don't even have to think about it. It's something that comes out of us. We think about how we can make life easier, richer, and more secure for those that we love. Making more money is a natural desire. We want to move the ball down the field. Putting our loved ones in a safer place, a city, a neighborhood, is a natural desire. Making enough money so our wives don't have to work outside the home is a natural desire. I know it is for me. I don't want to see my future wife, whoever that will be, working her ass off, calling another man boss. I would love to be able to make the type of money where she only works if she wants to, not because she has to. It's a natural desire. Setting our kids up for success is a natural desire. It's like breathing. You don't have to think about it. There's not a process in your head that says, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. It's natural. And we never have to bitch about what comes to us naturally. However, if we are betrayed or burned, we pull back and we withdraw from what comes natural to us. No woman in my life ever lost sleep about putting me in a nicer, safer home, a nicer neighborhood. No woman ever thought about taking me away on a nice sunny vacation to recharge or relax. No woman thought about making more money so I don't have to call someone else boss. No woman ever took out $1 million life insurance policy on herself so I wouldn't struggle if she dies. Women, not all, but most, have no clue or give a shit about the sacrifices men make and what comes natural to us to create a nice life for them. Going back to the beginning, men are friggin' amazing. We are builders. And cheers to all my fellow builders. Attractive women with the appearance of options are always in the hoe phase. Always in the hoe phase. Imagine how tough it is being a pretty woman and being hit on everywhere you go. Restaurants, the gym, work. If a woman warns women about bad men, it's called the sisterhood. If a man warns men about bad women, it's called misogyny. Just let that sink in for a little bit. And with that, finish whatever the hell you're drinking, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason. Will be no idealism.
Hi, my name is Erin. I use she, her pronouns, and I am
Perfect.
Great ass! The amazing George Bruno.
And I cruise down the street like a free rider. New shoes on my feet like a free rider. And I move to the beat like a free rider. And I scoot through the week like a free rider. And I scoot through the week like a free rider. Got my new shoes on my feet like a free rider. And I move to the beat like a free rider. Yeah, and I scoot through the week like a free rider. Like a free rider. Like a free rider. Like a free rider. Like a free rider.